deal to move forward with peace talks. The White House insists negotiations will continue.
More Israeli air attacks on Gaza City. At least 6 Palestinians were killed, including a 9-year-old girl. A dozen others were wounded, say Palestinian health officials. Israeli military says it targeted terrorist infrastructure. Extreme weather of various types, violent storms and flooding from Pennsylvania to Missouri, and extreme heat. ABC's Hannah Battah.
After fueling wildfires like the 2,700-acre Summit Fire northeast of Los Angeles, the heat expanding eastward, setting records from Utah to Montana. New all-time highs were set in Salt Lake City, where the temperature hit 109, and in Billings, Montana, which hit 111 degrees. International Falls, Minnesota, on the Canadian border, could see its first 100-degree day in more than a century.
Fueled by hot, dry conditions, the Gold Mountain wildfire has consumed 33,000 acres in southwest Colorado. It's only about 7% contained and has prompted voluntary evacuations. On Sunday, a pilot was killed when a helicopter went down in a reservoir during firefighting operations.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Senator Lindsey Graham, South Carolina Republican, died from a ruptured aorta stemming from heart disease. As preliminary info from the medical examiner. You're listening to ABC News.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREO.
News brought to you this hour.
Chance for storms is up to 60%. The low is 72. A 60% chance for storms Tuesday with a high at 88. Chances for afternoon storms Wednesday and Thursday. With news on 103.9 WIAB, I'm Chris Davis. The J-Tran bus drivers are now on strike, which means people who use the city buses are out of luck if they don't have another way to go. The union, which is the Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1208, says they haven't been able to reach a deal with MV Transportation, the company that employs the drivers, and they believe there's unfair labor practices going on. So they're walking, and their statement says they hope the people of Jackson stand with them. 4 people shot in Philadelphia, one of them dead.
Be advised, we'll need some additional units. If you can call deputies, crowd is overran.
Calls for help from the city police department for assistance from the Neshoba County Sheriff's Office just after midnight Sunday. While the motive is unclear, the shooting happened at a crowd of people, and that resulted in 4 people being hit with bullets. A 19-year-old man who was hit several times died at the hospital in Philly. A woman who was shot in the leg was taken to a Jackson hospital. 2 other people were grazed. Philadelphia police have not yet announced any arrests and are asking for tips. In Natchez, the flames filled the skies and a building about 5 Sunday morning. Mayor Dan Gibson.
A historic building dating back to the late 1800s, home to Delta Fuel, 50 employees right here in the heart of our downtown.
He says the fire started in the building's basement, but no one was hurt. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Teaching from God's Word for your life.
How would you like to be set free today? Man, I would. I want to walk in the freedom that Jesus purchased for me. I don't want to live simply holding a ticket to heaven. I want a heaven right here on earth. God wants to do a work in your life. He wants to set you free today. He wants to do a work to take you out of the prison. Are you ready to feel the shaking of the prison? Are you ready to see the shackles fall? Are you ready to see that prison door open? I promise you, if you'll start praising God right in the middle of it, I'm telling you, God will do a work. You say, but I don't feel like it. Don't wait till you feel like it. Let your feelings follow. I promise you start praising him and then you'll start feeling like it. It just happens that way. They're not good leaders, but the feelings are great followers. Man, let your faith lead out.
For more teaching from David Jett, visit crossgates.org.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Chip Matthews Show, where politics meets the South. So grab your sweet tea, find a comfortable spot to sit back, and let's embark on this journey together. Chip away, chip away.
And good Monday morning. It is the Chip Matthews Show all over your radio on WYAB 103.9. Good to have y'all here. Good to have everybody out there as we get ready for a day of rocking weather, they keep saying. Good morning, JC Dunn. It says, have a drink on me. Yeah, I like this song. AC/DC. Have a drink on me. Okay. Good morning, Shane Easley. Joanna Patrick. Also, good morning to Jeff Thomas. I saw you on one of the sites. Not everybody's name pops up on my current screen, and I don't know what we're going to say Clay has done to alternate what goes on there. Lindsey Graham, Republican. Staunch. He's been the guy. Okay. Passed away suddenly this past weekend. After a trip to the Ukraine, I'm waiting for them to say Hillary was on board the plane. Hillary knew somebody. No. But sudden death, it happens, Then Mitch McConnell, they found him lying up. Now, you do know, he's the oldest senator, I believe, to ever father a child at 72. Good morning, Vince Warren. 6:08 in the morning, and what is on my mind today? First, let's ask this question. How many of y'all took my advice this past weekend? Good morning, Ricky Gray. And went and found one thing in your city that you need to get fixed and call your closest elected official, whether it be an alderman or a supervisor of some type or a mayor or somebody, a congressman, whatever it is that you vote for in your area, and say, hey, can you come fix this? Hey, have y'all looked at this? Did you do that? Well, okay. So if you didn't do that, you get a reprieve for the weekend. But every day this week, I want somebody to call into the program and tell me who they called to correct something in their community. Because only once we take back our communities one little piece at a time will we ever fix any part of America. And you can't fix anything until you fix what's in your face. So fix everything around you, whether it be a red light out, whether it be a stop sign that's not hanging at the proper height. You do know there's a proper legal height for a stop sign to be legal. Did you know that? When it gets knocked down and sitting on the ground, that's not technically a legal stop sign. There's all kind of loopholes and everything. It kills me on everything. But the reality is, and that, and the lawyers find all these loopholes and use them to get people on or off of being a criminal when they are a criminal. But we need to find one thing and say so. I don't care if you call me and tell me you called your supervisor or your person and you got something positive to say, that everything in my district is perfect. Everything in my area is right. everything. I talk to my politician on a regular basis, but we're going to have to start talking to our politicians and making sure that they are doing what needs to be done in your community in order to make your world a better place. Now, in the coming days, I will probably have something that I'm going to start presenting to y'all, which is going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than the Jaguar, the stolen Jaguar, which, by the way, I'm going to pick up today for the lovely sum of $3,000. You too can have your car stolen in Canton, and when you get it back, it'll have cost me over $4,500, and no one has been convicted of taking my car. They had him in jail, but the police didn't show up to testify. I guess that means that if the police are not going to do their job, I mean, we pay taxes to be safe. So if the police department, this is particularly the detective there, and the police chief allowed it, and then, of course, the mayor and board and aldermen allow it only because they allowed that person to be the police chief, and they have to take responsibility for their hires. I guess this is their bill, and I will make sure that they get it real soon, because that it's just wrong for a citizen to not be protected. And when you put somebody into the court system and then they stand in the hall and don't come in and testify that they arrested the guy, and the guy goes free, there's something really, really, really wrong with that. But y'all, there's something else going on, and it's not in Canton. It's somewhere else, and it is going to be huge. It's going to have repercussions in 3 or 4 counties. It may have repercussions statewide. It may involve all kind of graft, and it's just coming down the pipe. And I'm just going, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this, and I don't know what you do on their part. I mean, all they have to do is live by their agreement. But we'll get into that over the next few days. And start, we'll read it to you on the air. It's going to be funny. We're going to wait and see where we're at after today or tomorrow, but that's where we're going to be. And we're going to need people that live in certain areas to come in and sign petitions. And look, what's happening to me happened to you in those areas, in those 3 counties. What is happening to me has happened to several people in those areas, and they've never been able to fight back. Unfortunately, I have a microphone and a way to fight back, and then not scared when you send me a letter from a top state official. I'm shaking in my boots. My thing is, the reality is somebody's got to honor their agreement, and that's that. Period. We got to quit lying. But anyway, that's what's going on in my world and in your world. And in your world today is some bad weather we need to be worrying about. So y'all keep your mind on the prize. And if an area looks like it's going to flood, more than likely it will. So be very careful in that area, and don't get stuck in the mud, water. Don't drown. These cars, when you see these cars drive into these deep water ravines, you have to go, did you notice there was water in the well, my car's no, your car's only 1.5 feet off the ground, and 1.5 feet is a little bit more than 12 inches, right 18 inches, 20 inches, and you're not thinking about everything else. So that's that. Debbie wants to know what they are doing. Good morning, Debbie. I'm not talking about it yet, but I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to unload. It's going to be great. Also, let's also remember that we're coming up on an election, and we've already picked our Republican, which is Cindy Hyde-Smith, and I forgot who the Democrat is running for state senate. I think Scott Colson, I believe that's his name, is running for Senate. It's real important that we keep a Republican in office for many reasons, but most importantly, to support Donald J. Trump, even if their ratings on what they do to help the president, it isn't an A. I don't understand how a Republican goes to Washington and can't get an A. Now, I saw recently that whoever does the guidelines, they had a Jill Ford at a C in Mississippi, and that is wrong. She's an A. She's an A. You know, just because she doesn't support everything that our Republicans in the state support, because our Republicans in the state include a bunch of rhinos. You know, they're still pushing that school issue. And I got some comments there on some school stuff that's going on in Canton that we got to look at, because during this school year and during the time between now and data center money coming in, there's going to be a lot of promotions, a lot of money put out, because people want to make sure that they get that check into their 4 high. They want that high pay into that 4 high before they retire. And all they care about is stealing all the money. So many people in the school program will be moved up into the administrative program so that they will have some great job title that will lead to them going home with a big pile of money when they retire. Because it isn't about us. It isn't about educating the child either. It's about how much money I can get out of the government on my way out. Because, you know, when you get a job, you want the accomplishments and you want the money and you want the accolades. But unfortunately, you're not getting the results. You know, if the average person in Canton cannot pass an ACT test, then there must be a problem in the school system. Yet y'all want to say, oh, there's no problems. There's no problems. There's no problems. We're going to give out some more titles this year. And I just sit there and I go, what, you know, used to you got a title instead of a raise. I'm sure they're getting a title and a raise. And so many people, when they get that title, learn how to sit on that butt and not do anything. Yep. It'll all be interesting. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. Yep. It'll all be interesting. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show.
1039 WYAB.
In the heart of rural America, we know the value of an honest day's work. While the big corporate brands focus on their stock prices, Outlaw Light is focused on you. We're an independent American brand built on resilience. We don't preach or teach, we just brew. That means a high-quality, 105-calorie light beer at a price that respects your hard-earned dollar. For the patriots, the dreamers, and the doers, America deserves a new light beer. Grab an Outlaw. It's darn good beer.
This is DeMario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Remember when you had energy after work? When your mind was sharp, your confidence was high, and getting older didn't feel like giving up? That guy's still in there. Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men fight fatigue, low testosterone, brain fog, and low motivation with customized treatment plans built for real life. No waiting forever, no awkward lectures, just answers, support, and a plan. Living better starts now. Live Better Men's Health. Visit livebettermen.com today.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
When seconds making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
6:22 a.m. on a Monday morning here on WYAB. How are you? I am the Chip Matthews, your host this morning. Of course, remember, coming this afternoon at 4 o'clock, it's the one, the only, the Kim Wade. It was good seeing you this past weekend. And he brought me a nice thing, and I'm pictures of kind of a career reencapment of what he's gone through and some of the things he's done, and we're setting those up on shelves inside the restaurant where people can see the history of different people in town, and it isn't just people that work here, but people that around town. If you have a part of a shelf at my building, I got so many shelves in there that you can come and you want to put up a sign or put up something about your business, just bring it on by and put it on the shelf and decorate your shelf, and we'll let you do it. And same for people running for office, but different political thing. There's people coming in our building all the time out there at Beethoven's on the Reservoir, and we will allow you to dress up a little area. Dress up a little area. Let people know who you are, because it's real important that we learn the people out there and what they're doing. Okay. Do you realize that? You understand that, right? Do you understand that? And it doesn't matter. I mean, people come from to Beethoven's from all over the state. We even had some people from England in there this past weekend. England. They wanted to watch the soccer match. But anyway, I've been looking at, okay, we'll get into the teen killings this weekend, and we'll get into the drive-by shooting in Yazoo City, and we'll get into the man being shot on Forest Avenue, and the teen takeovers and the back to schools and all the things that are going on. But first, I want to talk about schools this year are going to be getting lined up because all this new data money's coming into these school systems. They're all going to have where, like in Canton, where they already have too much money because they don't have enough students in the school, they have all this extra money to throw out. So now they are promoting people or making up jobs. I don't know if these were advertised for bid or anything, but these are job titles at Canton Public School that they're congratulating new people that have them. I'm not going to say the name of the people that have the jobs. I'm just going to tell you that these promotions for these new directors, in my opinion, is a dash for the data cash, is what we're going to call it, because the data cash is coming into the market, and we got to understand what's going on. So let's say, for instance, here's one: assistant superintendent of curriculum and instructions. Yeah, we need one of those. You're in school. We got to know what the curriculum is, and we got to know what instructions are. So this is the assistant superintendent for that. There's also the Director of Accountability. Now, I wonder if Director of Accountability answers to the curriculum and instruction person. But anyway, there's also the Director of Maintenance and Transportation. Okay, these are all positions where people have been moved up to directors. Used to be you were the janitor, but now you're the Director of Maintenance and Transportation. And I may have that mixed up, and for many years, you had the janitor in Canton at the school was being paid for by one of the aldermen, and all the aldermen had to take was taking money off of him. But I mean, I don't know. We'll have to go through all that. But he testified to that in court. But here's the job that I look at this way: data and instruction specialist for athletic program and academics. Data instruction specialist for athletic program and academics. There's a person that does that at Canton Public School. And these are the new ones that they were all proud of, that they put them up online with their glamour shot, which I think in Canton, if I would set up a booth just to do glamour shots like they used to do at the mall back in the day, I could make a ton of money off adults who think they need to get their picture made and put it up online to where everybody thinks that they are some kind of important person. I bet you a Canton High School annual, there are more pictures of administrative people and people working there than there are kids graduating or in the school. I mean, it just has to be that way. Because if you're a family member, or you know somebody in government, or you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, we'll make you the director of who knows somebody and get you a job there in Canton Public School System. And that's what I'm saying. None of these people are teachers. They're not talking about they hired these new teachers or these new people coming in. They're just tooting their own horn in the upper echelons of how we're going to spend the money. And then all this is going to be data money, and it's going to be more and more money. It's just like the airport thing in Jackson. They put a reverend on the airport. Yeah, the bishop on the airport. What is the bishop? I mean, I don't know his credentials. He may be a test pilot, but I mean, put it out his things other than he was a religious man and an honest man. We need people in positions that are qualified to be in those positions. I know there's less and less people in Jackson to pick from, just like there's less and less and less people in Canton. And I bet you the director of all these jobs here in Canton, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 I just spoke of, I bet you out of the 5, 4 don't live in Canton. I'll say 4. It may be 100% don't live in Canton. But, we don't give out money in Canton to people that live there. We give out money to people who live somewhere else where they can grow and get up. They don't, Canton doesn't take care of Canton. And that's what the sad thing is. I mean, you can go to City Hall. Half the people at City Hall don't live in Canton. I'm sure, and I can understand it. It's just like, do Jackson police officers want to live in Jackson? Hell no. Hell no. I'd like to be able to lay my head down and not get shot. But then again, when you look at who's shooting, you can't live in Yazoo City. You can't live out in the county. You can't live out in anywhere without gunfire these days. We got to start having some accountability, people. We got to start asking people to help us. We got to ask our neighbor to talk about what's going on around them. Don't just sit there with a video. We need to come up with a law that says if you are videotaping a fight or something, that you could be arrested. Yeah. Yeah, you should. Because if you're not trying to help and render aid, all you're doing is adding to the problem. And in some cases, these people with the cameras are setting up the shot because they want video to go viral and they make some free money. And that's all it is to it. We got to do better. We got to do better across the board. And we got to start thinking about voting and putting people in office. Next year, when we start lining up for governor in January, and you're going to hear over the next 90 days, they're going to, you got all these people who said they're going to run for governor, but they're fixing to start counting their pennies, and somebody in the big chair is going to say, you don't have enough money to run for governors, and you don't have enough money to run for governor. You don't have enough money to run for governor. And then the big box store lobbyists and all the other lobbyists out there that have money into the game are going to say, well, he's going to be the governor. He's going to be the lieutenant governor. He's going to be the secretary of state. He's going to be, and that's the way it's going to go, y'all. They pick who we're going to have. It's very rare for somebody to challenge the person running for office. And when they do, they try their best to completely destroy them, break them down to nothing. And then, of course, if they can win that war, like with Chris McDaniels, when they beat him in the Delbert beat him in the last race, the big thing was you don't have to listen to Chris for 4 years. You take him completely out. We're going to be back. I have to listen to Chris for 4 years. Show on WYAB. You take him completely out. We're going to be back with more right here on the show.
1039 WYAB.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Hello, friends and neighbors. This is David Frederick. I'm here to tell you about the latest development here at Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. In an effort to always bring you the very best brands, I am proud to announce that Frederick Sales and Service is Central Mississippi's newest dealer for Skag zero-turn mowers and products. We have deals on one of the industry's best brands of zero-turn mowers, Skag. You can buy now and pay later because 0% financing is also available at Frederick's. Come see our inventory. We're here serving you for over 3 decades in Brandon since 1993.
Hi, this is Allen, nurse practitioner at the MEA Medical Clinic in Flora, Mississippi. Located in the Cotton Exchange Plaza, we are here to provide patient-centered care that is thorough, compassionate, and convenient. Whether you need primary care services or same-day medical care when you aren't feeling your best, we're here to support your health.
MEA Medical Clinics.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. More of a shooting war between the U.S. and Iran. Oil prices have jumped. ABC's Selena Wang.
U.S. officials had expected Iran to publicly commit to stop attacking ships in the Strait after weekend negotiations in Oman. But instead, Iran says it opened fire after several ships used unapproved routes and ignored warnings from its navy.
Israeli air attacks on Gaza City. Several deaths, say Palestinian health officials. The Israeli military says it targeted terrorists. Violent storms and flooding from Pennsylvania to Missouri. Extreme heat across much of the nation. Cleanup after fast-moving microburst storms in Philadelphia yesterday. Mayor Sherelle Parker.
We saw utility poles literally split in half like matchsticks.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's sudden death was from a ruptured aorta from heart disease, says preliminary info from the medical examiner's office. This is ABC News.
The Tri-County Academy Rebel success in the classroom and on the athletic stage begins with the Tri-County Academy Booster Club. Join the team and be a Rebel by getting involved and volunteering as a booster. Your involvement is the generator for fundraisers, facility upgrades, equipment, uniforms, and all other needs. Tri-County Athletics thrives in part because of our TCA boosters. Join today by calling the TCA main office at 601-879-8517 and help the Rebels continue the championship tradition.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk. Americans for Prosperity
Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show, heard round the world and all over your radio and on the internets and on the interwebs and everywhere like that. Yeah. Yes, sir. We're all over the place. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm looking online, and I'm looking at the Nolan Wells mother speaking out, a grieving mother with a child that lost a child, which, it's sad. It's sad, Yeah, with Colin Kaepernick showing up with some money and Spike Lee showing up and Tyler Perry showing up, the national news narrative, just like I said it was going to happen, has turned into Mississippi's history of black-white crimes, which don't exist in the current mode. This is in modern day. Let's say in the 2000s, that's not an issue. It may have been an issue in the 60s and then maybe in the early 70s, but it ain't an issue today. And anybody that says it is, it has been it's insane. Blacks and whites don't hate each other. The only blacks and whites that hate each other in Mississippi are politicians. And they stir the pot. They don't like their own people that vote for them, black or white. It's really, really, really ridiculous to know what's going on. And then on the coast there, they're taking that tragic death of that child and our future superstar football player, which he could have been. He could have been another Jerry Rice. He could have been. He was in junior college. But all these people have showed up because 3 white guys have a picture with a black guy that they were out on a boat with, and they're going to turn it into, we didn't know. We found his cell phone on the boat. We found his car keys on the boat or somewhere else. And my question to you is, if you're going on a boat or you're going on something that you don't go on to every day, because they didn't say it was his boat, you would take your phone and all that and put it somewhere else. There's stuff that you don't want to lose, and you just don't take it with you into the water. You just don't. I don't care what anybody says, It's probably a government phone. No, just kidding. But I'll get in trouble for that one. Yeah, I'll get blasted for that. But 6:38 in the morning, and we're sitting here, and I'm thinking about all the friends that I have that are black and white and black that I speak to. And I wonder at times if something were to happen, is the first thing going to happen? They're going to come arrest me. You have got to have committed murder or something. This black guy's dead, and you were friends with him, and you were seen talking to him, so you must have killed him. That's where we're headed. And the national narrative is it happened in Mississippi, and that's what we're doing all the time here. Yet Pookie this past weekend was shot by another Pookie in the Delta. Drive-by shootings in Yazoo City, drive-by shootings in Jackson, drive-by shooting, people shot and killed everywhere. Black on black crime is tremendous, and that is the major problem with crime. It's nothing racist about it. And they want to put race into it, which yes, it's cultural differences in where you grow up. Now the problem here is you have a black guy who seemed to be semi fluent. They seem to and running around with people, and they seem they got boats. I don't know if the government gives out boats for blacks or whites right now, but they had a boat and they're out on Flag Island. Not Flag Island, that's in here, But out on Ship Island, they're going around in a boat. You know, that thing takes gas. You know, gas costs money right now. Boat gas probably costs even more. So you're going out with some people with some money. You all pitched in to run the boat. You go out there and your pumps out, and they come back in. And look, all kind of disasters occur when you're on a boat. I was once on a boat, and it sunk. You know, it sunk in the Gulf of America down in Naples, Florida. I remember my brother. It may have been both brothers. I know my brother Monty was involved. I don't know if Roger was involved. They were on a shrimp boat that went down in Gaucher and sat there and treaded water for 3 or 4 hours, I understand. Or at least that's the way the story went. But, you know, things happen. And especially boating accidents when you're not always on a boat. If you're not a boater and you don't have your life vest on and this, that, and the other, there's all kind of things. And I watch out on the reservoir. Everybody's got a life vest in the vehicle, in the boat, but they don't particularly have it on. As I watch them roll in at the Gulf of Beethovens, I watch them come in and I sit there and I go, well, what would you do if this happened? Or what would you do if that happened? You know? And yeah, you can swim, but sometimes those little white caps that occur on the water, and white caps is just an expression of a wave on water. It doesn't have anything to do with race, y'all. They're white caps. When they occur, you know, the water's a little choppy, you know. So you need to have your vest on, because when you go into the water, no matter what your age is, you could drown. My grandmother used to always tell me, and I was a pretty good swimmer, y'all. And every day in my life, she told me the best of swimmers drown. And so I have feared that one day you hear it so much, you go, that'll happen to me. That's the way I'm going. I'm going to drown, you know? And so that's that. I mean, because she always says it, you know, best of swimmers drown. And I mean, my first time in the water at Pine Acres in Canton, Mississippi, I dove into the deep end, and I was rescued by Mary Frances Plummer. Yeah, she pulled me out of the water, saved me. Oh yes, that was great, because I was a young kid, and she looked pretty good, you know. And then later on in life, Terry McDonald had to jump in and get me out of the water. But later on in life, I got to where I could actually swim, y'all, just a little bit. Swam all over this state, it seems like. But, you know, things happen to people all the time. And for them to play race card on a drowning, and I mean, this is a rush to judgment here. This is a rush to say this is what occurred. This is what happened. There's no evidence that something like this had it happen, you know. But these three, it's similar to me. I think of it as was it Boston or up there, one of the what is it, croquet or whatever team, they play with the nets on, what is it called? Okay, well, anyway, the whole team that got in, squash team that got in trouble for they said that they all raped a girl, and they found out that later on in life that they didn't do it. But everybody got convicted of it. Everybody got convicted in the press. And then they were found innocent. You know, that happens. You know, the rapes do happen. But it always doesn't happen in a way to where the media can turn it into it. And it seems like nationally the move of the state of Mississippi, and what Mississippi needs to understand, especially with the Benny Thompson issue out there, that Benny controls half the state, and that we're a state that relies on the federal government. We are the center of the argument, and you don't realize it. We are the center of the argument of the fact that we are a socialist state. We are already socialist here. We live off of the government. And right now, that new housing bill that came out, to where it says that Wall Street isn't going to buy as many houses, or can't buy houses, or this, that, and the other, all that's going to lead to is everybody else forming these smaller corporations that will buy these houses and they will rent them out because you got them all over Jackson. Houses that are not owned by anybody from Mississippi. And what they do is they buy the house, and HUD comes in and says, we will pay you $4,500 a month rent for that house. So they buy the house for taxes. Okay, they buy it for less than $20,000. They're getting $4,500 a month for 3 years and not pay any taxes on the property. Don't pay any taxes because it takes 3 years to take your property if you don't pay taxes. So you can buy a house for $20,000, don't pay the taxes for 3 years, pocket $4,500 a month off of the federal government, making sure they send that check directly to you because they're going to put somebody in the house to live and you're going to make all the money. Y'all, that is a reality. That is real. That is something that happens. You know, the housing market, when they come up with real affordable housing, they really need to come up with a system that says, for instance, you show that you have a job and this, and this, and they need to come up with some way to where it can happen. But when you also look at these HUD houses and these rental houses that they have out there that become HUD houses and all that, they rent for exorbitant amounts, insane amounts. And then the people that have them, they're not going to come in and take care of them. Not the people that live in the house, but we're talking about you rent a house and you say, oh, I got a busted slab with a busted pipe. It's on you. And you got a problem. And then the people that live there, they can't afford to fix it. And they just continue to live there with the problem that's occurring until the house falls down and they move out. Their idea is you will own nothing and be happy. Yes, that's called socialism. It's similar to communism, but it's socialism. You will comply to the government where all the money will come in. And then the people that make the money are the people that have government jobs and people that are government hierarchy and bureaucrats and elected officials who can make money and take some off the top as they go. I mean, y'all, we watch it every day in the news. Don't look at your politician unless you really, really, really trust your politician and will take your wallet out and hand it to him. Do not trust him until you figure it out, until you know that he's doing right. And some of these people that you really, really, really know ain't doing right. No, they don't. You don't think about it. You don't want to think about it. You want to just say, we got a governor, we got a lieutenant governor, we got these people running the city. I don't really like them, but it doesn't affect me because I have my house and what I'm doing. Drive through Jackson, y'all. Come to Jackson and just say, oh, I'm going to run down here to the Jaguar store or someplace and go look at something. And then on your way in, you find out that somebody was shot at the Northside Drive exit. And you find out that somebody was shot and it's all right there on top of you. And you're riding through and you see crime scenes everywhere you go these days. And there are people laying on the ground shot. And we continue to live with this. And we're not really doing anything to fix it. The closest thing to fixing anything was when Sean Tyndall sent those people up to Goodman to secure those streets up there. You know, that looked like it was a picture, but it looked like they were trying to do something. And that's kind of the way we got to look at taking over the whole state and taking over Jackson. It's got to look like you're shutting it down, like this isn't going to go on anymore. We're going to stop it. We're going to nip it in the bud. So if we need to call out the National Guard to protect everybody in Jackson, that's what we need to do because we got a cool day or two. And so for the cool day or two, people won't shoot. The murder rate will go down. But as soon as it heats up by the end of the week and through August, y'all, they will be shooting and killing and stabbing in the streets because people are on edge. And with money getting tight and gas going up and everything going on in the world, violence. Violence begets more violence. That's all it does. The more violent the world is, the more violent the people around you will be. And you need to get a grip on it, get a hold on it, or go get a job in Canton as a director and instruction specialist for athletic programming and academics. I want to be his assistant. I want to be the assistant to the data instructor specialist for athletic programming and academics. That would be a great job for me. Probably pays $100,000 a year this year. And when the data money comes in, it pays $200,000. Oh, well. We'll be back with more on the Chip Matthews Show on $100,000 a year this year. And when the data money comes in, it pays $200,000. Oh, well. We'll be back.
1039 WYAB.
In the heart of rural America, we know the value of an honest day's work. While the big corporate brands focus on their stock prices, Outlaw Light is focused on you. We're an independent American brand built on resilience. We don't preach or teach, we just brew. That means a high-quality, 105-calorie light beer at a price that respects your hard-earned dollar. For the patriots, the dreamers, and the doers, America deserves a new light beer. Grab an Outlaw. It's darn good beer.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
It's all systems go this month at Mazda of Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit, come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. More room for you and your cargo makes the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. And Mazda of Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Are you looking for a church family to connect with? One that will provide opportunities to grow in your spiritual life, as well as a chance to serve others? First Baptist Flora may be just the place for you. We're located at 102 Jackson Street in Flora. To worship with us in person, we have a traditional worship service that begins Sunday mornings at 8:30. Then our life groups meet at 9:45, and the Refuge Contemporary service begins at 11 a.m. We also have a midweek service every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So come join us at First Baptist Flora, where we're making much of Jesus.
Why should you choose Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
From a cabin on a creek to a field where the big bucks sneak. Oh, yeah! Tom Smith Land and Homes. Find your place where your roots can grow. From hunting ground to your front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes. Yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes. That's it.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Hey, Flora, the farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, organic, local, clear. Locally sourced meats and vegetables too. Fresh produce every day, picked just for you. The farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, come see what's fresh today.
From the garden, from the garden.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
6:55 a.m. on a cloudy Monday. Yeah, tell me why I don't like Mondays. But anyway, y'all, I kind of like Monday. It's the beginning of the week. I feel all energized. I'm ready to get out and kill it and bring it home and then get taxed for it by the government. We got to pay the Benny Thompson taxes. We got to pay the rhino taxes of the state of Mississippi. Yeah. I mean, they exist. Don't act like they don't, y'all. I mean, every time you turn around, we're paying taxes on something, and everybody goes, Chip, you got to pay taxes. Well, I don't have a problem paying taxes. I have a problem with how you spend my taxes. I have a problem with how you spend tax dollars. You politicians don't seem to understand, especially when you say you're a Republican and you don't work on cutting taxes. You don't work on making the government smaller. You come up with the director of instability and commerce and traffic jams and pothole patrol. That'll be a title in Canton soon. Director of grass cutting and counting the blades of grass to make sure that we have enough grass being cut by the right people. But I noticed that all those people, none of them, there's only one color at the Canton Public School, and that's that. And race is becoming an issue. Race is being made an issue in certain cities. Race is it's all us. It's all the white folks. White folks out there killing all the black folks. We're throwing them in the water, killing them in the Gulf of America. Right there. There it is. If you're a white guy hanging out with a black guy, you're in trouble. What about these interracial relationships? They're gonna start blaming it on everybody. I mean, Ben Crump is in Mississippi creating a stir over something that does not exist. Colin Kaepernick, who is the king of creating a stir, is here paying for it. And then, of course, you have, all this is we can go to Mississippi. We can keep the race fight alive because the race fight had gone away, but everybody nationally believes that Mississippi is still the racist state in the United States. They still think that's what it is. They want to depict us of the 1960s nationally. They do it real hard. They've done it well in movies, and now they've done it well with news stories. And so this story here, never mind Pookie that got never mind the babies and the mother that were shot, 3 of them at close range, execution style. Did that make the New York Times? Did that make the Washington Post? Did that make national news? No. A white guy accidentally, 3 white guys being with a black guy and all they have is a picture. He fell over. He got in the water and drowned, y'all. Now, I'm not going to stereotype it and say that everybody says black folks don't swim. That's another issue altogether. But anyway, I'm going to assume he can swim. But, things happen when you go out and you're partying and some girl says this, that, or the other, and they left him behind. But that's not because any other reason, but the boat was sinking. Rain was coming in. You got to think of all the things that could have happened on why you would say it's time for the boat to leave. I got to get home and go to church. That might have been one of the excuses. I don't know. Anyway, we got to get race out of everything, and they got to quit stereotyping Mississippi as the racial capital of the world when all the crimes are mostly black on black crimes. And that ain't national news, but a black guy drowning in a white guy's boat with some white guys out, that's big news. We'll be back tomorrow. Chip Matthews Show. A black guy drowning in a white guy's boat with some white guys out, that's big news. We'll be back tomorrow. Chip Matthews.